Hey everyone, welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving straight into some seriously fascinating source material from longevity protocols today, all about the advanced ages lockdown. Basically, we're going to walk through a super practical, step-by-step guide to managing your daily glucose intake. The main goal here, figuring out exactly how excess blood sugar might be literally aging your skin from the inside out, and more importantly, how we can use some really simple daily habits to stop it in its tracks. We're going to focus heavily on this incredible concept called food sequencing and how it's an absolute game changer for helping your skin keep its natural bounce over time. Let's get right into it.
So, have you ever looked in the mirror and just kinda noticed a loss of bounce in your skin? You know, that natural recoil, that youthful elasticity we all take for granted until it starts to fade. Usually, we just shrug and blame it on getting older, right? Or we treat it like a surface-level issue that needs surface-level creams. But the source material highlights this unseen, hidden villain operating way down deep within the body. It's actually causing a structural loss. And the crazy part is, we have the power to control it just by tweaking our daily dietary choices. All right, bringing us to part 1, the hidden hardening threat.
Drawing right from the Journal of Dermatological Science, the research reveals a pretty startling medical reality about our blood sugar. You see, excess blood sugar doesn't just, float around harmlessly. When we eat foods that rapidly spike our glucose, that massive wave of sugar floods the bloodstream and actually travels all the way down into the deeper dermal layers of our skin. And down there, that high concentration of glucose, along with all the oxidative stress it brings, literally physically hardens your existing collagen fibers from the inside out. It essentially binds right to the proteins. So when we talk about losing that skin bounce, it's not just an illusion or gravity pulling things down. It is a literal physical hardening of the very matrix that keeps your skin firm. The fibers just lose their flexibility. Which leads us to Section 2, Understanding Collagen Glycation. The real culprit behind all of this is something called glycation. Basically, this is the biological process where sugar molecules literally fuse to your flexible protein strands, creating these stiff, brittle structures. To really picture how damaging this is, imagine your skin's collagen matrix is this beautiful, incredibly flexible scaffolding system just beneath the surface. That invisible scaffolding is what lets your face smile, emote, stretch, and then just snap right back into place without leaving deep creases. But during glycation, rogue sugar molecules essentially hijack those scaffolding beams. They attach themselves, and as they build up, those once flexible beams get totally locked down. They become rigid. They just can't bend or support weight the way they used to, which ultimately leads to that structural collapse we see as sagging or wrinkling on the surface.
Just look at the stark contrast here. On the left, you've got healthy collagen. Think of these as fluid, waving silver ropes. They're super supple, they move effortlessly with every single facial expression and environmental stressor. But over on the right, that's glycated collagen. When those glowing amber sugar particles swarm and crystallize on those silver ropes, they turn them into stiff, brittle bronze rods. It is exactly like taking a nice fluid rubber band that you can easily stretch, freezing it in liquid nitrogen, and watching it snap the second you put any tension on it. The whole underlying structure just loses its kinetic potential.
To understand just how severe this lockdown on your collagen really is, check out this citation from the British Journal of Dermatology. They look closely at the pathways of advanced glycation end products, which we call AGEs. And honestly, they're exactly what they sound like, the harmful end-stage products of that sugar and protein fusion. When these AGs form, they lock down your skin's matrix and cause these little micro delays in the tissue's natural recoil. Mechanically speaking, every time you smile or frown, the surrounding skin actually hesitates to bounce back. Because the structure is crystallized, it actively resists returning to its normal resting state. And over time, those micro delays turn into permanent folds because the rigid glycated tissue just can't distribute mechanical stress efficiently anymore. The elasticity is totally blocked.
Okay, let's switch gears a bit for Section 3, the food sequencing shift. Here's where it gets really empowering. Take a look at that steep, sharp red spike. That represents exactly what happens internally when we eat foods in a way that rapidly dumps sugar right into the bloodstream. That sudden, massive influx, that is the glycation danger zone, flooding your dermal layers with the exact molecules that crystallize your collagen. But right next to it, notice that flat, smooth green wave. By simply changing the order of the foods you eat during a meal, a concept known as food sequencing, you transform that damaging, collagen-hardening red spike into a totally safe, rolling green wave. You're eating the exact same amount of food, but you're fundamentally altering the delivery mechanism into your bloodstream to prevent that overwhelming sugar surge.
And hey, this isn't just a theory. The journal Diabetes Care clearly notes that food sequencing blunts the internal glucose surge. Managing your post-meal glucose and keeping those silver collagen ropes nice and flexible is literally as easy as just reorganizing the way your meal is physically consumed. It's such an amazing, practical lifestyle shift. You don't need a super restrictive, miserable diet. You just need a strategic approach to the food that is already sitting right there on your plate.
So let's get into exactly how to do this. Section 4. Step-by-step glucose defense. All right. Here's the exact step-by-step guide for daily food sequencing to manage your glucose intake effectively. Step 1, eat your greens and fiber first. Step 2, eat your protein second. And Step 3, eat your carbohydrates last. It sounds incredibly simple, right? But the biological mechanics behind why this works are absolutely fascinating. When you eat fiber at the very start of a meal, it travels into your digestive tract and physically coats the walls of your upper intestine, creating this viscous, protective mesh. Then your protein arrives and slows gastric emptying even more. So by the time those carbs finally show up in Step 3, they hit this protective net. Instead of being rapidly broken down into simple sugars and instantly absorbed, they have to navigate through that entire fiber and protein barrier. This natural, physiological delay effectively slows down the whole sugar absorption process, stretching what would have been a massive, damaging spike into a nice, gentle, sustained release of energy over several hours.
Which brings us to the payoff in Section 5, restoring your skin's bounce.
By putting those simple sequencing steps into practice and flattening out that glucose wave, you get 3 distinct biological payoffs. Number 1, it slows sugar absorption. By eating fiber first to coat the intestine, you completely prevent that sudden rush of glucose into your system. Number 2, it keeps your structural matrix completely supple. Without that aggressive influx of excess sugar traveling down to the dermal layers, glycation just can't take hold at a rapid rate. And number 3, it allows your collagen to bounce back dynamically from any movement. Because the sugar isn't rushing into the bloodstream all at once to crystallize those fibers into stiff bronze rods, your internal collagen strands stay perfectly flexible, unburdened, and resilient. Basically, the daily habit of reordering your meal directly preserves the physical integrity of your skin. The science backing this habit up is incredibly solid. The journal Nutrients actually notes that dietary gastrointestinal timing protects structural protein longevity. In everyday terms, that means the timing and sequence of what goes into your stomach directly maintains your skin's natural bounce and protects the overall lifespan of your body's structural proteins. It's such a wildly simple, brilliantly effective gastrointestinal strategy. Honestly, just by eating your veggies first, proteins second, and carbs last, you are actively protecting the structural scaffolding of your skin from the inside out. It's a huge cellular victory at literally every single meal. So what does this all mean for you? Well, are you ready to defend your matrix? Think about the very next time you sit down to eat. How are you going to reorder your plate to make sure your skin keeps bouncing back? If you want to grab the full glycation defense framework and start protecting those collagen fibers today, go ahead and comment the word matrix down below. Thank you so much for joining us for this explainer. Keep learning, and remember, it's those small, simple, daily healthy habits that can make a genuinely profound structural difference. See you next time.